Hello, loves. Wait, let me go live on. Might as well go live on TikTok at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm like 15 minutes late. I had to eat. That's why. I thought I was gonna eat something else than I ended up eating. So I was planning on having juca, and then the juca was expired, so I just ended up making some dumplings instead. So yeah. But big welcome to the weekly community oracle poll. I'm gonna give everybody like some time to come through, but I hope everybody is doing good. It's been a minute. It's been a straight up minute. I was literally off like all platforms during the weekend because I had a death in my family, and so I didn't get to do the weekly healing circle. But we are here for the weekly community oracle poll. Hello, everybody. I'll be kind of explaining to y'all what the weekly community oracle poll is. So basically, if you are a channel member or a Patreon member, it is already included into your membership. So you can go ahead and drop your question with the oracle deck that you want me to use. And if you're not, you can just go ahead and Cash App or PayPal me or Venmo me like $5 and up or whatnot with your question and the oracle deck that you want me to use. So these are the oracle decks that you guys can pick for this week. We have the Nature Speak Oracle, okay, the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, the Feathered Omens Oracle deck, the Okana deck, but please only use this deck if you're trying to do shadow work, because this deck is, it will read you to the filth. So if you're not trying to do shadow work, don't pick this deck. I ain't playing with y'all. And the Archangel Michael Oracle deck. Those are your options for this week. So for those who are Patreon members and channel members, you guys can go ahead and start dropping your questions. For those who are not, just go ahead and Cash at me or PayPal me or Venmo me, whatever, $5 and up with your question. And that way we can go ahead and I'll start pulling some cards for y'all. But I hope everybody is doing good. Hey, love, how are you? Oh my God, I'm seeing so many new places. Hey, Michaela, how are you doing today? Yeah, I used to back in high school. Whatchamacallit it. But yeah, I hope that everybody's doing good. It's been a very, I've just been kind of cleaning today. It's been a little bit of a spiritual cleaning day. But I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the deck. We're gonna be here for, I want to say, like an hour. So that we're probably gonna finish around 9:30 is gonna be the time. So that's kind of like once we get to like 9:30, like we'll see if I go any past that, but I think for today I definitely want to like just stop it at that point. So yeah. Whew. Whatchamacallit. I'm just going to cut the deck for now. But yeah, for those who are Patreon members and channel members, you can go ahead and start dropping your questions. Hello, everybody on TikTok. I hope everybody's doing well. I literally just finished eating some dumplings. It's been a whole entire day. But we is here. And I definitely miss you guys over the weekend. I feel like I needed like a whole entire break, but I couldn't bring myself to do a live because it was just a very emotional time. So yeah. But yes, Aline, 67 New York. I am doing readings. So I'll give you guys the spiel again. For those who are channel members or Patreon members, you can go ahead and drop your question. For those who are with the deck that you want to use, for those who are not channel members or Patreon members, because the channel members and Patreon members is already included in their membership. For those who are not, you can go ahead and send me like $5 or $10 to my Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. It's the same as my username, so it's TigeraGitana. And the links for that will also be in my bio. You can go ahead and do that and then put your question with the deck that you would like me to use. Your deck options for today are the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, the Nature Speaks Oracle deck, the Feathered Omens Oracle deck, the Okana Oracle deck, but please, for the love of all that is holy, only use this deck. Only use this deck if you're trying to do shadow work, because it will read you to the filth. I am not joking with you. And the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, which is like a lighter version of this one, but this one it tells you to your face like what is up, but it's only for shadow work. So only use that card if you're trying to do some shadow work right now, because listen. But whatchamacalls it? So yes, hey Cece, how are you? How is everybody? Yes, things are a lot better now. Like the weekend was a little bit of a hot mess because my mom was very emotional this weekend because one of my aunts died. But we are in a bed. We're okay right now. Everything kind of like started to like calm down. But yes. So what is the message my angels are trying to send to me? May we please use the Archangel Michael deck? Gracias in a moment. Okay, got you right now, boo. Archangel Michael. Oh. I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, thank you, my love. I had to do the ceremony for welcoming a new ancestor, which was, it's a ceremony that is very emotionally like involved. So it's one of those things that takes a minute, but I had to like integrate that because she chose to become an ancestor. So yeah, that was a whole experience, but thank you. I didn't technically lose her because she's still one of my ancestors now. So it is what it is. But okay, Summer Rain 7997. What messages is Spirit trying to send you? Ooh. Oh wow. Okay. So for Archangel Michael, you got 3 cards, boo. The first one is Believe and Trust. Okay. And the prayer says, and you guys know the Archangel Michael Oracle deck always comes with a prayer. So you guys can like, repeat the prayer at a later time. For those who are going to want to see the live at a later time, you can go to my YouTube because that's where it will be available for replay. But for those who want to repeat after me with a prayer, we have Believe and Trust. Also, before I continue, tomorrow we're going to be having our weekly prayer circle. And I'll remind you guys of that later, but our weekly prayer circles just literally when we come together on a live for 20 minutes and just pray together. So yeah. Now, Believe and Trust. The prayer goes, before going to sleep tonight, say, Archangel Michael, please enter my dreams and replace fear with faith and trust. Let me be filled with strength, courage, and confidence. And then you have 2 other cards that are very similar. The second one is Innocence. So it looks like that, Innocence. And the prayer says, Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see that all of your qualities of pure love and light are reflected within me and all others. Help me embrace my God-given innocence so that I may be at peace. Okay. And then we have Be Gentle with Yourself. That's the last one. And the prayer goes, Archangel Michael, please guide me in treating myself with gentle, nourishing love in everything I think, speak, and do. Help me know that I deserve this compassion. I release any feelings of guilt to you so I may experience lasting inner peace. Okay. Is a very, very beautiful reading. I feel like for you, like your messages from Spirit is really focusing on trusting the process right now. I think that you need to kind of like slow down and stop trying to kind of like think that things are going off or things are going for the worse or things are like getting out of hand or things are just like, oh, I don't know, like I prayed for this and it seemed to be happening, but now it's like there's like a weird stopping to it, like I don't understand. Like instead of doubting the process, you need to trust the process. Not everything is going to look super clear during this time. Certain things are going to be very much like very much not super clear. Like it's gonna look a little foggy, but you're gonna start seeing some of the pieces, some of the things being put together, the vision of it itself coming together as a whole. But you have to give it time. You have to give it a second for it to fully blossom, for it to fully like manifest in its full completion. You cannot expect everything to kind of like appear out of thin air, just boom, period. That's it. You just can't expect that. You have to give it some time. You have to like slow it down. You have to like pace yourself, okay? And so believe and trust is the first one. And I think that's a really, really beautiful message for you to slow down, especially because the other messages are about tapping in and connecting to your innocence, connecting and being gentle with yourself, being softer with yourself, not necessarily putting yourself in a position where you're like, you know, kind of forcing yourself to be strong, or forcing yourself to kind of like put on a show, or put on or like, you know, appear in a certain way where you're just almost like faking your appearance, or faking who you are, to try to maintain your strength and maintain your kind of grounding with a situation or with a person. It's really about you tapping back into your innocence, understanding who you are in the situation, understanding your choices in the situation, understanding and being at peace with the choices that you made and where it led you. Because that's the other thing about like peace and choices and life, is that a lot of the times we make choices that we end up like, oh damn, I wish I didn't do that, I wish I hadn't had done that, okay, I wish I hadn't had done that. But it comes out, it ends up being like a moment of, wait, how do I find peace with the choice that I made? Because I made it and now I'm in this version of the future. This is where I'm at right now. So I am obviously going to have to find a middle ground between my choices and where it led me as a whole. So understanding your innocence, understanding your purity, understanding your intention, understanding that even if your intentions themselves have been very much have been either draining, or have been either a little bit toxic or complicated, that it ultimately brings you into a space of peace, um, by accepting the things that you cannot change, that you chose for yourself, but you cannot change. Understanding that, you know, you chose the best thing for you at the time, and having peace with that. And at the same time, being gentle with yourself. You don't have to like be harsh or be like, oh my God, why did I do that? I'm so stupid. Like the second you start talking to yourself like that, that's when it starts to kind of like, you know, weigh heavier. That's when it starts to feel like more dense. That's when it starts to feel like you can't get a win or you can't get a pass. Like it just starts to be like feel really, really complex. So it's really about just slowing it down, reconnecting to that, like that self-care, that self-love vibe, that energy. And when I say self-care and self-love, I don't mean just like going and buying a cupcake and just eating it. I mean actually checking on your energies, caring for yourself, your energies, your emotions, your mental energies, your spiritual energy, checking in on yourself, saying, okay, wait, is there any part of my body, any part of my spirit that has been feeling a little bit like, you know, like frustrated, or is there some tension anywhere that I need to address? Let me go ahead and do that. Or maybe, you know what, I've been having some pretty bad dreams. Let me go ahead and like see what's going on with that. Let me see if I can, you know, treat whatever's coming up, like actually react to whatever's coming up, and not with aggression, not with anger, not with like, oh my God, I hate that this is happening, I hate it. Instead of doing that, just actively, you know, be just smoothing it out, just like being gentle, just like taking that step to kind of like take a breath, reconnect with yourself, checking in on your energies, checking in if this situation triggered something that you yourself need to heal, and going from there, taking the time to go from there, but not making things more complicated, not making things more dense for yourself, but making things a little bit more like they're doable, like you can actually like address yourself in a very genuine way, and being honest with yourself about it, while not, you know, holding yourself to an unreasonable amount, like standard of some sort. So that is your message, my love. This was really like a very clear clear, very beautiful, very clear-cut message. I feel like it was very, very clear-cut. For those who just joined, hello and welcome. Wait, there's like some comments in here. Hello. Did you say donate through PayPal? Reading piece? Yes. So for those who just got here, let me just repeat the spiel again. So welcome to the weekly community oracle poll. The point of this live, we do this once a week, is to have low cost readings available because, you know, readings can be expensive. And so that's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why this live is happening. No other reason. And so for those who are Patreon members and channel members, you guys can go ahead and just drop your question with the oracle deck that you want me to pull. For those who are not, you can go ahead and just send me $5 or $10 to my PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. It will be the same as my username, which is TigeraGitana. And the links to that is also in the link in my bio as well for those who want to access it quicker. These just after you do that, just put your question in the comments with the deck that you want me to pick, like choose, or unless you want me to pick for you. These are your deck options for this live. So you have the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, the Okana Oracle deck, but I cannot stress it enough. Do not ask me to pull from this deck unless you're trying to do shadow work. This is not the deck for light, fluffy, love and light shit. It is not the deck. This deck will read you to the filth, back to the moon and back. So just keep that in mind. I don't want you guys to have an unrealistic standard of this deck. This deck will read you to the damn filth. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna pick the Okana, know what you're getting into. The other one would be the Nature Speak Oracle, and then the Feathered Omens Oracle deck. Those are the options for this week. Okay, so I hope that cleared up that question. I need to do a reading with you. The ancestors work through you, love on. Thank you, boo. Yeah, I mean, whenever you're ready, you know I'm here. You know I'm here. But hi everybody who's here. Oh my god, everybody's like commenting a bunch of stuff. Hello. Cece asked a question. You are welcome, my love. Okay, so general guidance for next month and any deck. Okay, let me see which deck is coming up though, because you already know how it is. Cece. Okay, it's gonna be the Enchanted Map for this one. Sometimes the decks themselves pick which one is getting read. It's just the fact of life. It's a fact of the live. CC the cap. Okay. Guidance for next month. What does CC need to know for next month? Okay. She said I want 4 cards. So 4 cards is gonna be. Okay, now. The only decks that I read the book to is literally this one and this one, because you literally have to read the book for these two. And then we dive into the message a lot deeper, but I'm going to whip out the book because we don't talk about the cards. But yeah, these are the only 2 because you literally have to read the book for those. You have to. It is a rule. You have 4 cards, my love. The first one is Strength. This is what it looks like. Strength. So let's go to number 44. 44. Strength. Okay. Your true strength comes not from self-reliance alone, but from a sincere faith in a higher power. The strength to accomplish even the most daunting task is yours at this time. You can connect with and channel the power of the universe. The Strength card dictates that your ideas are being tested and refined, and your relationships are being deepened. No matter what happens, nothing can move you off the course of evolution. As the potency of your connections become more obvious, you're able to harness the creative energies that are available to you. Have the courage and dive in, for magic is the process of finding a form to take. When you remember that real strength comes from a combination of your efforts and reliance on a higher power working through you, all is possible. You can do anything now. Okay, that is your first card. The next one is Magical Map Shifter. Okay, that's number 52. I gotta find number 52. Okay. Spirit orchestrates everyone's destiny. Catching a theme here. When the magical map shifter card arrives, it comes with a mission to make you aware of the people who come into your life to impact your personal growth. Perhaps you may meet a soulmate whose presence invites you to be the best, quote unquote, you that you can be, or someone who leads you out of a difficult time into a place of safety or success. Pay attention to those individuals who cross your path today and cause you to reflect on your journey. Be awake and aware, and you will recognize them for the important change agents that they are. Your whole perspective about who you are and why you're here will shift. The magical map shifter always initiates you into a better version of yourself. Y'all noticing a theme here? Y'all noticing a theme? Because I'm noticing a theme. Okay. And the next one. All right, hold on. Okay. Making a choice. You're required to come to a decision now. You're faced with a dilemma or a fork in a road, and you must make a conscious choice regarding the next right action. Whatever that choice is, you must take responsibility for, yet you needn't be afraid. You may have not all the answers right now because the way ahead can't be known until you've embarked and traveled a few steps. Trust your intuition, ask for a sign from spirit, and you will be led to the right path. If you remain conscious and aware, your choice will be the right one at this time. Life is all about learning. Success lies in choosing consciously, guided by intuition and spirits. And lastly, you got goblins. Goblins. Hold on. Goblins. We gotta find number 5. Okay, there we go. Goblins. Fear is an illusion. Choose love today. Forgive yourselves and others. Goblins are born when you are wounded and something essential is lost in the experience. From that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There, they remind you of what brought them into being, mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unlovable. They hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pays you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and that they're leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask spirit to help you heal. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of the negativity. So I don't know if you caught the theme, but I definitely caught the theme of what's going on. A couple of things. When it comes to strength and map shifter, you're really in a place where you are having a hand with what's happening within your reality. So while the divine and your spirits are actually helping you during this time, because you asked for next month, that's where it's going to be focused on for next month, because they're going to be actively helping you and guiding you for the next month over. You have to understand your choices. You have to understand that you need to maintain your strength, especially because there's like things haunting you. The opposite of the strength card is the goblin card. Literally, the fact that these both came up in the reading says a lot, because it tells me that at one point the first thing that you're going to need, the first thing that you need to do throughout the month is to maintain your strength. That's the one thing above all things that you need to be doing for next month, especially because look at it astrologically speaking. The month of November is all about transformation until you hit Sagittarius, until the season changes, moves into Sagittarius, and then you start feeling a little bit more liberated, because Sagittarian energy, as a fire energy that it brings to, it purifies as a season itself, and kind of it puts us in a position where we're in this place, making a choice, choosing a direction, planning a trip, planning a vacation, wanting to dive in deeper into our studies, wanting to do something new, getting, kind of like angsty about, wanting to do certain things. So it's one of those things that it's like, you have to decide for yourself if you're going to maintain this. You have to decide if you're going to maintain your strength, because right now you are co-creating. You are co-creating. There are certain things that are going to happen next month that you have a direct hand in it happening, but spirit is also uplifting you during this time. So it's like, it's one of those like it takes two to tango situations. Like, you cannot just completely um give in or like, you know, get affected, especially by the goblin energy, which is your shadow work that's kind of haunting you. There are still things that you personally need to let go and need to process when it comes to people and their presence in your life. That's one of the biggest messages that you have, and it really comes down to making a choice. What do you want to do with the energy? What energy do you want to maintain? Do you want to continue to uplift your shadows, or do you want to continue to uplift your strength? And how do you process your relationship with other people? We've been here before. Me and you have done this dance many a times, so you already know what I'm gonna say. When it comes to soulmates and when it comes to certain people, karmic people is how I'm really gonna call it. When it comes to karmic people that come into our lives and, you know, come through with a message or come through with like a specific energy, or they have a specific purpose for our lives, they, a lot of the time these people come with lessons, and we get attached to their energy because we've met them before. There's something very familiar about people that we have karmic ties to, because our soul, our spirit is very much comfortable with them. We recognize them on a soul level, and our spirit is triggered by their presence when they're around. But that person could literally be your mom. That person could literally be your neighbor. Like that person could be like an old man who like sits in the park bench like every Monday. That could be one of your karmic connections. And it is kind of like, it's funny how within the spiritual community we like romanticize our karmic connections a lot of the time, because y'all, not all karmic connections are very romantic. I'm gonna tell you this story. I've definitely said this story before, but I'm not gonna say who this is about. But this is definitely one of my more surprising past life readings that I've ever done. And basically, this person had asked me, they wanted a reading, and they asked me like, what is the relationship that they have with this person? Why is it so chaotic? But they have like this like love hate relationship, and they're always like attracting each other, repelling each other, it was the whole thing. And they had asked me that question, and it basically turned out that like the person that she was asking about was a cannibal in the lifetime that they were together, and she ate her. And in this lifetime they had like this whole relationship, but it was super chaotic, all over the place. And in that lifetime she basically got betrayed by her, and then she kind of trapped her, and then she ended up eating her, right? But it's like one of those things that is like, you, not every lifetime, y'all, not every soul connection is gonna be like, oh, we got married and this is why we're so like no, sometimes you literally have a soul connect, like a karmic connection with someone, because they did something bad. Like you could literally be attracted to someone who done killed you in a past life, like straight up. I'm not even joking. Like you could literally end up like feeling a connection towards that person just because they had such a big impact. They took your life, and you still traumatized by that, and that's still something that you need to heal from. So it's, when it comes to like making a choice, you have to sit down and really process what people's presence in your life actually brought to your life. And I ask you guys this all of the time. For those who have been following me on YouTube, you guys already know. You guys know I'm a Capricorn. Okay, I'm a Saturn baby. I ask y'all this like at least once a month. What lessons did these people bring to you? What did you learn? Okay, because at the end of the day, karma is ruled by Saturn. Okay, if you have karmic people popping up into your life, you best believe Saturn's like, I wonder how much time you're gonna waste on this person before you realize that you were supposed to just heal the connection and the karma that you had with them. Let me see how much time you're gonna waste. Let me see how much time. Because I tell you guys this from the get. I've been personally, since I was a little girl, I've been asking myself, why is this person in my life? What did they teach me? What do I like love them? How do I appreciate them? What is their purpose? And that ability comes from like Saturn. Like the fact that I do that comes from Saturn, like the whole entire planet. That comes from Saturn. And I always find that most people don't question themselves. Most people don't question their connection with other people. They just don't do it. And I'm just like, why? Why do you blindly follow the connection without questioning the connection? Why don't you question why this person was in your life in the first place? Because not everything is meant to be a like love and light romance, deep, like soul level, like connection. Like not everything is gonna be that. Like sometimes we fall for people or we are attracted or magnetized towards people, and the intensity of the connection makes us think that it's like love, because love is such an intense feeling, right? But the intensity of the connection makes us like so jaded about the situation itself that we can confuse ourselves in certain things. So when it comes to making a choice, you really have to kind of like sit down with yourself and process a lot of the shadow, a lot of the things that you haven't processed, because that's going to be the highlight for you within Scorpio season, is that maintaining your strength and working on your shadow work. That's what you need to do. When you move into Sagittarius season, is the magical map shifter and making a choice. What are you co-creating? What are you deciding based on what you have processed, what you have healed, how you have transformed? How are you moving from there? How are you moving from there? How are you healing from that? How are you growing from that? How did you accept what that relationship really was? What was the purpose? What did you learn? How did you grow? Because again, karma, Saturn is literally all about growth. Whole planet of time. Time entirely is ruled by Saturn. So the time you spent with other people also has a purpose. And so you have to think about that, and you have to think about the legacy that people leave with you. The like meaning, the emphasis that they leave with you. Not just kind of looking at it as, oh no, like I just had so much feeling. No, what was it though? What was the feelings? Why did you have those feelings? What did they trigger about you? What did they teach you? And if you look at the synastry chart, you know what they're going to teach you, because it's literally sitting in the North Node. Y'all, it's literally there. It tells you this is the lesson that this person's going to teach you. This is how they're going to teach you to grow. This is how you're going to teach them to grow. This is how you're going to teach them to grow. So how are you growing and understanding your relationships? Because not everybody's North Node is going to be 7th house, 5th house, like 8th house. We're just going to have bomb ass sex. Not everything's going to be like that. So you have to process it in a way that makes sense. Because sometimes it could be in the 8th house, but that person came into your life to teach you to process death work, or to teach you how to like do your finances better. Like again, you literally have to sit with yourself and say, okay, what did this person teach me though? What did I learn? What did I learn from this relationship? Okay, so that is your message, my love. I hope that you have a beautiful November. November's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be interesting. I think I'm just gonna be doing a lot of purging during this time. November's always like the time. Hello everybody. Okay, I just got a couple. Okay, I have like I think 2-3 questions on. Hey Lana, how are you? How is everybody? Michaela is next, and then I'm gonna see. Okay, I got a bunch of questions for those who are on TikTok. I'm gonna do the spiel again because I'm sure that everybody kind of missed it. I need a past life reading ASAP. My past life readings, I do it on you can book it on my website if you're interested on doing some past life work. For those who are interested in learning how to read the records, I have a workshop coming up in November 4th, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a 5-hour intensive on how to read the Akashic records if you just want to learn how to read it for yourself. And that also will be on the link in my bio. Now, I'm going to just do this spiel again. Welcome everybody to the weekly community oracle poll. The whole point of this live is for you guys to have access to low cost readings. So that's pretty much it. And basically for those who are channel members or Patreon members, because I also have a YouTube channel, y'all, that you guys should definitely be following if you follow me on TikTok. And so a lot of the people on my YouTube are mainly like Patreon members and channel members and stuff like that. So if you're a channel member or Patreon member, it's already included in the membership. If you are not a channel member or Patreon member, you want me to do a reading for you, go ahead and send me like $5 or $10 to my Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, which will be the same as my name, will be TigeraGitana, and the links to those will also be in my bio as well. These are your card options for this week. You have the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, the Okana Oracle deck, but please only pick this deck if you're trying to do shadow work, because this deck is not for the faint of heart. I'm just saying. We have the Nature Speak Oracle deck. We have the Feathered Omens Oracle deck. Okay, those are the Oracle options for this week. So I'm going to do Michaela, and then if somebody wants me to do on TikTok, just do the thing and then put the question in the comments, so that way I can like get to it like next, like we'll interchange it. Michaela, should I try for the house that I'm looking at, or should is there a better house coming soon? You pick the deck. I think we're gonna go with Archangel Michael on this one. Never fails. Okay, Archangel Michael. For Michaela. Should Michaela try for the house that she's looking at, or should she continue to look for? Or should she continue to look for? Oh, hold on. Or should she continue to look for other houses? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Wow. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to get this card that literally fell. Hold on, y'all. Okay. This one fell first. Okay. So you got like 5 cards, boo. Because you was like, I need all the messages. Okay. So the first one you got was Innocence. Okay. And the prayer says, Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see all of your qualities of pure love and light that are reflected within me and all others. Help me to embrace my God-given innocence so that I may be at peace. I'm going to read you all of them, and then we're going to break it down. Then you have honor and trust your feelings. And it says, thank you, Archangel Michael, for supporting and guiding and protecting me as I listen to and act upon my feelings. Help me understand and express my emotions with love. Okay. You have be gentle with yourself. Okay. And it says, the prayer says, Archangel Michael, please guide me in treating myself with gentle, nurturing love in everything I think, speak, and do. Help me to know that I deserve this compassion. I release any feelings of guilt to you so that I may experience lasting inner peace. Then you have, this situation is already resolved, from Archangel Michael. And the prayer says, I give any worries, cares, and concerns to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. Thank you for resolving this. In parentheses, give details about the situation in a divinely and perfect way, which I think you should do this prayer. And then the last one, which I think just puts the cherry on the top to this, is your home is protected by angels. And the prayer says, Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over my home and its inhabitants. I ask that you post guardian angels at each window and door, ensuring its security. Thank you for guiding my finances so that I may easily afford to pay rent, mortgage, and taxes. Okay, a couple of things. One, you know what you need to do. This is why this card came up. I think this is one of those things that I feel like you need to not overwhelm yourself, because you know at the end of the day in your heart what feels right to you. That's kind of the key. And this is why you're getting the innocence and be gentle with yourself, because I feel like there's like this, like a little bit like you're stressed out about it, a little bit like almost like if I do, but it's like a little stressful. You need to like take it a little bit easier. I feel like you need to sit with yourself, like sit down, take a couple of deep breaths, and just breathe. Take a couple of breaths in, breathe, release, breathe, release, breathe, release until you don't feel as anxious And some incense will help with that. Like some, you know, pop open the window, let some fresh air come in the house, or even do this outside in the park or something where you could like breathe, because I feel like you need a little bit of fresh air. But I do feel like there's a little bit of anxiety with the situation itself. But ultimately, you know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to do, because your feelings are telling you everything that you need to know about the situation. Your gut feeling is telling you, okay, this I don't really like, or this I feel right about, or this like, you know, you already know how what your reaction is. You need to trust that. That is wisdom. That is your own internal wisdom telling you, hey, your spirit feels like this about that. Your spirit feels at peace, or it just something that's not right about this, or something feels really good about this. Your spirit's already talking to you and telling you and communicating with you how it feels and what direction you need to go to. But to have like that full-blown clarity, because I still feel like your home itself, because your home is protected by angels, I feel like your home itself is still something that is in waiting. Like it's still something that you haven't found just yet. And I think that this is the prayer that you should be doing. The situation is already resolved prayer, and just praying for that resolution, praying for that to come through, so that it could just be like, oh, that's it, period, that's it, that's the one. Because if you knew it was the one, you wouldn't be asking me. Okay, if you knew it was the one, you wouldn't be asking me. You would just know, right? And so you have to honor and trust your feelings during this time and what it's telling you, instead of like compromising and then end up not wanting, not wanting what you ended up having and stuff like that. Like, don't do that. Take a deep breath, release, like try not to rush yourself. Know that that's coming. Know that you're gonna have that window, but also know that it's definitely something that's very protected. I think you're gonna end up in a situation where the home that you end up getting, you like, the way that you end up getting it is kind of like it was almost on hold just for you. It's gonna feel that way. It's gonna have like that essence to it. But this is the prayer that I think that you need to do. The situation's already resolved. Just do that prayer like once a day. Do that prayer once a day until that becomes a resolution, and find that peace with that. Like release any type of mental tension, any type of anxiety, any type of like, oh, but I don't know, and oh, but maybe, but no, you know exactly what you need to do. You just need to follow that, and you need to like, I feel like you need like a bubble bath or something. You just need to unwind. You might need some wine. You might need just relax. Relax, sit in your truth. Your truth is your truth. Whether you like it or not is your truth. You know what to do. You know what you need to do. That's at the end of all of this. That's what it is. That's the truth. So just do this prayer. The situation's already resolved. Let's say the prayer one more time, just in case you need to hear it again. I give my worries, cares, and concerns to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. Thank you for resolving this, parentheses, describe the situation, in a divinely and perfect way. And I really think that's the way that it's going to end up being resolved. Like you're just going to see how it's just like, wow. Like the way that it all comes together is just like, wow. Like it's going to be one of those type of things. That's the way that it's coming up. But that is your reading, my love. I hope that you got all the messages that you needed. I think somebody did booked one on TikTok, so I'm gonna do them, and then I'm gonna do Darkwell. You're gonna be next after them, and then I'm gonna come back, and yeah. But hello everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. But yeah, I'm gonna do Darkwell afterwards, okay? So which deck would you like, my love? I'm gonna show you all the decks right now so you can see them. But these are your deck options. Okay? You have the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, the Okana Oracle deck, but please only use this deck if you're trying to do shadow work. I cannot stress it enough. The Nature Speak Oracle, and the Feathered Omens Oracle deck. Messages from the birds from the spirit world. So yeah, let me know in the comments which one you want me to do. Unless you want me to pick for you. But I'm just saying, I'm just letting you know what your options are. So yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments while I read the comments on here. Hello. Oh my God, everybody's, oh, hello. How is it, everybody? Do. Okay, I'm gonna just leave the comment there so that way I'm just like in my screen so that way I can click it right afterwards. Oh, you want me to pick for you? Okay. Oh my God, I always gotta like spread them out. Okay, it's gonna be the enchanted map. So sometimes the decks pick themselves, y'all. Sometimes the decks pick themselves. Okay, so what does I am Kia needs to know right now? What is the messages coming through for I am Kia? What does I am Kia need to know right now? Oh. Okay. So as I stated before, the Okana and the Enchanted Map Oracle deck are the only two decks that I read the book for, and then we break it down. So we're gonna pull out the book for this, but you got 3 cards. The first one is Peaks of Joy. 33. There we go. Peaks of Joy. Your life is filled with happiness, so share it with others. Joy is yours today. No matter what your inquiry, you will be happy with the results. You're coming closer to a sense of achievement and you worked hard for it. You're surrounded by true companions and events that are synchronistically arranged to bring you to the next level of your life. The world is singing a beautiful harmony. Life is exhilarating and hopeful. Let gratitude fill your heart and remember to share your happiness. Joy is contagious. That is 1. Then you have Dragon Slayer. Okay, so that's number 19. There we go. You're always protected and divinely directed. You have a remarkable internal warning system that lets you know when things are out of alignment. You're about to enter a dangerous territory, so tread carefully and beware of your surroundings. The path that you're on now is one that will challenge you to the core. That said, peril is also exciting and exhilarating, like a danger you feel before you enter a new relationship, knowing that you'll be changed forever. A life lived fully isn't lived only in safety. A new experience is calling out to you, one that will test your courage. The choice is yours, but there is greater value in risk taking than remaining unchallenged. New territories are waiting to be discovered. And then you have Wizard of Awareness. Okay. And let me just find that one. That's number 3. Your soul knows best. Be still and observe. Mindfulness is about being observant and remaining neutral about what goes on in the world around you. This applies to the environment within you, too. If you struggle inside yourself, stepping into an observer position gives you a new, powerful perspective that neutralizes any discomfort or overexcitement. You have the capacity to see things clearly now, unencumbered by opinion or desire. Wearing the world as a loose garment requires you to adopt the sense that nothing that happens to you is personal. People come and go. Experiences evolve from one state to another in a continual shift and change, no matter how much you want things to stay the same. The Wizard of Awareness asks you to give up your need to define or limit what you're experiencing now. It's all good. Let it be and watch the miracle unfold without any direct influence from you. Wow, lots of very, very clear messages. Very, very, very clear messages. So, couple things. 1, it does not go above my head that there's like that many 3s. You see that many 3s in there? You got a 33, and you got a 3. That's a lot of 3s, y'all. That's a lot of 3s. But there's definitely a lot going on. I feel like within the next couple of weeks, you're going to be seeing, especially as we move into Scorpio season, because Scorpio season tends to be a very transformative time, but there's kind of this essence of you maintaining your joy throughout. I feel like right now, while Libra season is going on for you, you're going to be feeling like that Venus, you're going to be tapping into the Venus aspect of Libra season, which is very much about pleasure and enjoying yourself and having joy, and kind of diving into things that make you happy and the things that bring you a lot of joy. And then there's this kind of other aspect where things start getting a little bit like, you know, dun dun dun, and that's like when Scorpio season hits. There's this kind of like, you're going to be stepping into certain things that are not necessarily, you know, super fun to deal with. While you're still protected during this time, you are going to be tested within the next upcoming months. That is definitely a fact. And you have to maintain you have to maintain your awareness in the situations that you are diving deep into. And that's where the Wizard of Awareness comes in. Because while you're having, you know, all this joy, while you're like, you know, connecting with others and kind of like multiplying this joy throughout those who you know as well, with the peaks of joy, there's this essence of like the dragon slayer was like, okay, what is happening, what is coming, something shifted there. You just wake up one of these days and it's just like, wait, something done shifted there. And so it's like, it's one of those things that you really have to sit down and pay attention to the subtleties of what's going on around you as a whole, because there are certain things that if you don't pay attention to them, and you have to also understand Pluto energy and Scorpio energy in order to understand why, like, maintaining the Wizard of Awareness like position is important. Because when you are in the state of like, hey, I'm trying to like notice, I'm trying to look, I'm trying to pay attention, I'm trying to see what's up, I'm trying to see like, you know, what's off, like I'm trying to actually look for what's going on. You have to understand that with Scorpio and Pluto energy, that's the unconscious mind, that's the things that you cannot see regularly. Like, most people, if you don't have Scorpio placements that allow you to like dive into that, like that specific energy, it's really hard for certain people to dive in deeper and see past their limitations. Some people are very much limited to just seeing their present life and what's going on with them in that moment. They can't see the nuances, they can't see the underlying energies. Their intuition sometimes doesn't even see deep enough into the situation itself to look at some red flags. And so when it comes to the Wizard of Awareness energy, this is giving me hella Scorpio vibes. This is giving me like, sit and lurk kind of energy. Is giving me like that thing that Scorpios do when they first meet somebody new, where they start off with just kind of looking at them. They're just looking at the behavior, looking at the movements, looking at the shift, looking at the way they kind of maneuver around their lives, looking at the things that they do naturally, that they feel comfortable in. And they start already piecing certain things together about their personality. And the other thing that Scorpios do all of the time is that they will always get to know someone else before that person even gets to know them first. Like, Scorpios will start asking you questions like very casually, and at the end of that damn conversation, they will know at least like 25 things about you, while you still know nothing about them. You don't even know their goddamn whole name. Scorpio level. And that it really comes from being aware about other people, being aware about other people's presence, being aware about the energy they're bringing in, being aware about the shift, especially if it's a new person coming in, or a new friend, or a new, just like new job, or new, like whatever situation you're going in that's new. It's gonna come with that nuance, that kind of like mysteriousness that you need to pay attention to. You need to have that awareness to, if you want to actually catch the context clues of the situation. So there's this kind of like, you're still protected within your joy, but trust and believe you're still going to be tested during this time. And it's up to you to maintain your joy in the process. It's up to you to maintain and upkeep your joy, upkeep your happiness, upkeep your connection to your self-care, your self-love energy. It's up to you to upkeep that. If you don't upkeep it, it will end up turning into a situation where you'll feel more heavily tested than usual. If you do upkeep it, that's something that it won't feel as harsh. But either way, I feel like you're carrying this kind of very like, it's kind of like whatchamacalls it. It's giving me Dumbledore, it's giving me Gandalf kind of energy. Like, as you can see in the damn picture, it's giving me a Gandalf energy. Like, it needs discernment. Like, you need to have discernment right now. for the next upcoming weeks. You need to maintain your discernment. You need to pay attention to the clues. You need to pay attention to your intuition. You need to pay attention how people are moving, because some people are going to be shifty. Okay, and so it is up to you to catch those things when they're happening. If you don't catch it when you need to catch it, trust to believe that's going to come right back at you. Why? Because we still have hella retrogrades that are going on right now, and so you need to pay attention to the way that things are coming into play. There's still a lot of karmic stuff coming up for people. There's still a lot of things that are unsolved from the past that are coming back in different ways, in new kind of shapes, in order for people to kind of process certain things. So it's up to you to do that work. It is 1000% up to you to do that work. If you do not, if you let yourself get overwhelmed by, experiences that are not necessarily, that are being a little bit wish-washy with you, you're gonna lose that joy, and it's going to end up being a little bit of a harder season and more of an introspective season, instead of you maintaining your joy at all costs. That should be your main goal. That is your reading, my love. I hope you got all the messages that you needed. I hope that makes sense. We're gonna do Dark Will, and then I'm probably gonna do a couple more questions, and then whatchamacallit. I'm probably gonna do a couple more questions, and then we're gonna sign off for today. But thank you guys, everybody, for being here and asking the questions and stuff. Dark Will said, "Hey Abby, can you tell me what Spirit wants me to know for this month using the Archangel Michael deck?" I got you, boo. For those who just joined, this is called the Weekly Community Oracle Poll. It is meant to be for like low-cost readings for you guys. So we gather here once a week, and we just pull some cards. For those who are channel member or Patreon members, it's already included in the membership, so they just can post their question with the deck that they want to use. For those who are not channel members or Patreon members, you can go ahead and send like $5 or $10 to my Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, which is the same as my username, TigeraGitana, and the link for that will also be in my bio. So let's see. Dark Will 67. What does Spirit wants Dark Will 57 to know for this month? What Spirit wants for 57 to know for this month? Oh, hold on. Spirit Dark Will 57 to know for this month. Okay. Woo. This was such a very clear message. Wow. Okay, so the first one is guarded and protected. And the prayer goes, "Thank you for protecting my loved ones and me, ensuring that we're safe and that all of our needs are met. I now accept your help gratefully, knowing that is right for me and all others to accept heavenly assistance." Okay. Guarded and protected. And then the other one is, you and your loved ones are safe. Okay. And the prayer goes, "Dear God and Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over me and my loved ones, parentheses, name specific individuals. Please help me feel secure and at peace, and fill me with faith so that I may focus on my priorities and enjoying a healthful, happy life." So there's definitely a couple of things going on, and I feel like for this particular month, you're going to need to do a little bit more protection work than you might have been doing for a hot minute. The reason being is because I feel like right now you are going to be tested, and it's not only you, it's members of your family. Your family like are coming up very, very hard with these two. It's like, you guys know what I say about ancestor work all the time. You don't do ancestor work just for you. You do ancestor work for your family as well. Like you're not just doing it for your benefit. Like you're not the only one that benefits from working on your bloodline. The bloodline benefits from working on the bloodline. So when you're doing for protection work for the bloodline, when you're doing like abundance work for the bloodline, when you're doing like, love work or healing work for the bloodline benefits from it. Everybody from the bloodline, even that uncle that you don't like, benefits from that, because they all have access to that energy. They all have access to the same blood. It is running through their veins. And so there's this kind of need for you to step up the protection work, because I feel like there are members of your family that greatly need it right now. And it's one of those things that it's like, it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, it's better to be safe than sorry. It feels like what Archangel Michael is saying is ultimately there's a person in your family that has someone around them that is really bad for them, and they need that extra protection. They need that extra assistance. So even just doing these two prayers daily for this, like the rest of this month, would help loads. But I think you need to do more family work. I think you need to focus on the family a little bit, do some bloodline work, do some healing work, and try to see what's going on. Like if you can check in with your family, if you can see, like, hey, what is going on with like the family dynamic, like what's going on with certain people. Obviously not everybody's going to be super open to telling you what's going on, because some people are definitely, there's some members of the family that don't want to be ashamed of certain things that are going on in their life. That's just kind of normal. But it's still important for you to kind of hold space for yourself, hold space for your spirit, hold space for understanding like how you amplifying your protection and your prayers helps the bloodline and literally helps protect other people, other members of your family, from those who wish to cause harm or wish to bring pain or wish to distort or even like attack certain members of your family. It feels like this is more a message for one of your family members more than you, but you also benefit from this experience. You should be doing more protection work during this time. And yeah, I would highly recommend either lighting a candle, or I mean, if you're at any point this month, if you're gonna go to like any family member's house at all, like any family member's house, I think you should take it upon yourself to have another additional layer of protection. But also, if you can, pray in their home, in that space that they're gonna be at, because when they're in your own presence, that's a very powerful time to do that kind of and set that intention that no, this space is protected, my family is protected, nothing can like penetrate the space. This it's a really good time to like amplify that protective shield around your family, so that way nobody kind of ends up going through a heavier time like than they needed to. It definitely feels like somebody's being preyed on within your family, though. That's the way it's coming up. So get to work. That's what I'm going to say. Get to work. You should be doing these prayers at least every single day. Every single day for your members of your family, so that way everybody is good and like good to go for the rest of this month. But it definitely has a very dark vibe to it when it comes to this month energy. So that is your reading, my love. Thank you for asking. I think, did anybody else? For those who for the person who just asked me for the reading, so if you would like to book a reading with somebody, I can't tell who asked me from where. Somebody named no, wait, it's not. I think it says Kenny. Cashed at me $10, but I cannot tell from which account that is. Wait, sorry, I picked up the wrong comment. I can't tell which account that is. So okay, Kenny. I just saw it. Okay, perfect. So these are your oracle options. You can pick from the Archangel Michael oracle deck, the Enchanted Map oracle deck, the Okana oracle deck, but only pick this deck if you're trying to do shadow work, because it will read you to the filth. I gave you a warning. The Nature Speak oracle deck and the Feathered Omens oracle deck, the messenger birds from the spirit world oracle deck. So just let me know in the comments what question you want to ask, and which deck you want me to use, and then we can go from there. For those who want to get a reading, you can just, if you're not a channel member or Patreon member, you can Venmo me, Cash at me, or PayPal me like $5 or $10 to there, and then just put your question in the comments. So yeah, you said omen, so the feathered omen ones. Okay, so this one, I presume. Do you have a question, or is it just a general reading? Let me know in the comments before I start to pick for you. I done dropped an Archangel Michael card. Okay. General? Okay. So for Kenny, what does Kenny need to know right now? What does Kenny need to, wow. Okay. What does Kenny need to know right now? Okay. Wow. All right. Bueno. You're kind of like ahead of Scorpio season a little bit. Yo, I swear. Sometimes these readings just make me laugh. Just sometimes. It's definitely, I feel like your spirit is just waiting for Scorpio season to start. So the first one that you got was Vulture, which is life, death, and rebirth. Is it not giving it Scorpio energy? Yeah, it's giving that. We also got Secrets Discovered. Is it not giving Scorpio energy? I'm just saying. And then we have Eagle, Spirit Vision, and Healing Surround You. Still giving Scorpio energy. So, couple things going on. When it comes to what you're going through, or you're going to be going through, because I feel like, I mean, when it comes to October's energy, the Libra season energy, like, starts to shift very much. Like, once you start getting into the, like, 15s, 20s, like, the 14s of October type of vibe, you already kind of start feeling Scorpio energy coming through. And you might be in, like, the prerequisite of what Scorpio season is going to bring for you, regardless of the fact. But you are going to be going through a very transformative period. It's definitely something that is bringing you to, on a soul level, an evolutionary moment on a soul level. And it's interesting because I feel like you need to be doing past life work. That's one of the things that just came through. You need to be doing past life work. Secrets discovered. There are certain things that you don't know because you don't know how to access it. Yeah, you should be doing past life work. That's just the message that's coming through for that. You should be doing past life work. There are certain questions that you haven't been able to get the answers to because you've been looking in the wrong place. You've been looking on the wrong place, and you've been expecting to get the answers in the wrong places. And so there's kind of like this process of knowledge that needs to happen, that you knowing itself, this is literally giving me past life work. Like, this is just heavily giving me past life work. Now, the one thing that I would tell you about past life work itself is that when you're doing past life work, you're doing this: death, rebirth, transformation. Life, death, and rebirth. You are analyzing a past life, an experience of life that you had, that you have already died from, okay, that is still attached to you. And you are analyzing that experience. You are seeing what it is about that situation, that past life, that is still attached to you, that you personally still need to heal. And then the rebirth comes when you heal the thing. Spirit vision and healing surround you. This is what I'm saying. This is giving me heavy, like, past life work. And I do think that that's something that you need to do. You need to do some past life work. You need to, because there are certain things that you're not going to get the answer until you get the answer clear way, and like in a very clear way. I think you've been searching for the answer for a while, but it hasn't come to you yet. You haven't been able to fully see it. And this kind of reminds me of, like, before I even started to do, like, past life readings myself, I had unlocked different past lives in different ways. One of the ones that because you can access the Akashic records in different ways, but it depends. It's not going to happen every single, like, time in the same way, is what I'm going to say. So one of the ways that I unlocked my Akashic records without doing it the more traditional-ish way that I guess that you can say, would be through sound healing. My Reiki master, who's also a sound healer, she had done, I booked a session with her to do some sound healing because I absolutely love sound healing. It's one of my favorite things in this world. And during that sound healing session, I saw one of my past lives, and then literally like about, I want to say like a month after that, like I literally saw the whole entire past life. A month after that, I booked a past life reading with the person who taught me how to read the Akashic records, and he literally told me that exact same thing that I saw in that whole in like that whole sound healing session. And I was just like, I didn't understand fully, like I couldn't piece it all together until I got the reading, and it was just like confirmation. Like it made sense. Like it just truly made sense. And this is kind of one of those things where it's like I feel like you've gotten glimpses of the knowledge that you are trying to receive, but you haven't quite gotten there yet. You haven't quite received, processed, or healed from, because there is a process on healing past lives as well. Do you do past life readings? I do. I do past life readings now. I'm also teaching how to like read the records as well. That's something, that's a class I'm doing in November. But I do feel like you need to do past life readings because you need to know how to do it. This is not something that I tell to everyone either, because sometimes like I'll be doing like a natal chart reading or like an astrology reading for someone, and I can see it in their chart that is very heavily like they need to do death work, and it's coming up like they should be doing past life work. And I will just be like, listen, you need to like learn how to read the records. You need to learn how to do it for yourself, because it's a tool that I can see it in the chart. You're gonna need to master. You're gonna need to do. This is not everybody needs to access the records, or like themselves. Not everybody needs to access the records, and not everybody can be given access to the records. That's a whole nother story though, because Lord said records don't just let anybody up there. I'm just saying. But when it comes to those who need to do that work, I don't tell this to anybody. I don't tell this to everybody either. But you definitely need to do some past life work, because I do think that on a soul level, you've been seeking some answers that you cannot find in the ways that you have been seeking them. And that's because you haven't been accessing the records. You haven't been accessing the library. The library of souls is basically where everything has been written, said, thought, spoken. Everything in there is just written down. And everybody has a piece of their library. Every spirit in this world, every tree, every rock, every your pet, okay, my cat, my dog, they all have past lives, and they all have a little library in the Akashic records. And so we access the records, and we can see, and we ask. It's like going to the library. You're just going to the library doing research. Once you get that knowledge though, everything starts making sense. Everything starts kind of like coming together, and then you can heal from it. That's like my favorite part of working with the records. It's the healing part, because you don't just kind of like kick dust and like stir shit up and like stir up your traumas and like just to poke at your wounds and your traumas and stuff. You heal a lot with the records. There's a whole healing like ceremony that we do to heal your past life, so that way it's updated in the records like, hey, this has been healed. This person no longer has to carry that shit. Okay, so it's like that's like the knowledge I feel like you're trying. There's certain things that you need to know that go deeper than where you have been at, and that's where I think you're headed. I feel like Scorpio season is going to be one where even your own dreams are going to be highlighting certain things, which by the way, you can open your past lives and dreams, but that doesn't mean that you can understand them. And that's kind of the problem, that there are ways to open things like sound healing, for example. That's using like that Neptunian energy, that subconscious energy to tap into aspects of the past life, but to fully comprehend it, to bring it to consciousness, to bring the unconsciousness to consciousness, you have to willingly go into that space and say, no, I am owning the records. This is what I want to do. I want to know this question. I want to get this answer. I'm trying to find the resolution to this, to that, whatever it is. It's really about being conscious in the library versus you're dreaming, and then all of a sudden you have a whole entire experience and you're just like, why did I dream that I was like on a ship, or that I was like I was like in a mountain somewhere. Why did I dream that I was dressed a certain way? I was like, I didn't even look like myself. Like, why did I dream that? You're not going to be able to fully comprehend that until you go into the records. But there's ways that you can open the records non-traditionally, but it takes masters to kind of like get the knowledge itself. There's like ways to open the records with like, for lack of a better word, well, substances is what I'm going to call them, you know, like el plant leaf, el cannabis. There's different kind of plant medicines that can induce you into an altered state that you can, but again, you have to be guided into those space, into that kind of space in order to do that. But you could, like, traditionally it was done in many ways. The ancestors opened the records in many ways through ceremony, and it's just like today there's like definitely different ways to open them and still, you know, go through that process, but it's still a conscious thing. It's still a conscious thing to do. But I feel like you are trying to tap into that vision and also heal from a lot of shit. That's where you're at. And I feel like you're going to be getting glimpses of aspects of certain things that are not going to fully make sense, but highlight the things that you need to heal. And you're going to have to tap into your, you know, into the records in order to resolve and heal through those things as well, with intention, because that's really the key. When it comes to the records, you're doing stuff with intention. You're asking questions with intention. You don't just go into the library. I say this all the time when people book readings with me. I'm like, you best not come in here and just be asking yes or no questions, because you're not going to get any knowledge from asking yes or no questions. That's like you're trying to write an essay on a war that happened, and you basically just said, did the war happen? Yes. And that was the essay. Like, you didn't write why it happened, like where, the hows, the whens, the where. Like, you didn't say anything of that. You just done like wrote yes. So it's better to have like those really good solid questions. It's what I'm gonna say. But that is your reading, my love. I hope that you got the answers and the question, like, to the questions that you needed to do. Can we do the past life reading now? I would never do a past life reading on a live. The reason being is because it would be unethical, because your past lives, your records are very sacred. Like, it's not like tarot or like where you could just shuffle for someone. You cannot access someone's records without their consent. Granted, you could literally be like, Abby, I'm giving you consent to open my records, and I still wouldn't do it. Why? Because you didn't give consent for everybody else in this live to know your business. So it's one of those things that is like, I would never do a past life reading like public, like for someone in a public way, because it's not for everybody. Like, not everybody's not supposed to know your business. People are not everybody's supposed to know what you're going through or what you need to heal or your traumas or what's going on, because you absolutely never know what can come up in a reading. And it's one of those things that is not for, if it's not for everybody else to heal, then they don't have any business being there. So that's why I don't do public readings for the Akashic Records. But if you wanted to book a reading with me, the link will be on my bio for my website, and then you can book it through there. Okay, so I think, okay, Black Coffee picked the Okana deck, so here we are. So wait, let me pick up the Archangel Michael deck. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I think, I think Lana was the last person. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to, yeah, I think, no, Lana and Tori are the last people, I believe. No, Black Coffee, Lana, and Tori. So we have 3 readings left, and then I'm gonna wrap up for the night. But thank you to everybody who, like, you know, booked a reading with me. But Black Coffee wants to do the Arcana deck. Every time somebody picks this deck, I'm like, I don't know why you're trying to do this to yourself. But I mean, you have to do shadow work. You have to do shadow work. That's just how it is. That's, you know, certain things require you to get rid of the veil. Okay, so Black Coffee. What can you tell me, please, what Spirit says I should be working on? What should Black Coffee be working on? What should Black Coffee be working on? Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all, oh my God. That was a little bit. Okay. Okay. I mean, this feels a little bit like, this feels like you're getting called out in a way. Like it feels like I'm getting like I'm getting like taken aback for you because like damn. Hold on. You're about to find out what this is about in a second. Let me just pull up the card of the book. So when it comes to the Okana and the Enchanted Map, it's the only two decks I will pull up the book for because, and then we'll break it down because you need to know. You need to know what is written. Like you really need to know. So the first card that you got, Boo, that absolutely left me shooketh is a goon. For those who don't know, a goon is another word for ancestors. A goon, okay? The dead stand in waiting. Shadow element, not honoring one's ancestors properly or allowing those tasks to fall by the wayside. The dead are standing and waiting for you to acknowledge and respect them. This card is maybe the most straightforward card in the deck, but also the most encompassing. This deck is this deck in a way to connect to your ancestors and what they have to say about your shadow side. But one must not forget to honor, venerate, and serve them in a way that is appropriate for them having your best interests at heart. This card is summoning you to do the work for them, continue feeling appreciated, and as spirit guides that they are, consistently assisting you on your path. It is letting you know that they are with you, but they are asking you to take this connection more seriously. Do your offerings, speak with them with earnest. Don't be afraid to ask for guidance. I'm literally shook that the ancestor card came out because that's just like ancestors is pissed. Your ancestors is pissed, boo. Oh my God. Okay. And then we have Mercurial. So let me go find that one. Hold on. Give me a second. But like, damn, that literally like took, I was just like shook it. Shook it. Mercurial. Mercurial. Today cannot be like tomorrow. Shadow element. To be fickle and indecisive. Struggling with keeping focus on any one thing. Prone to diving head first into something of interest and promptly abandoning it. There's a difference between being spontaneous versus being unreliable. There is also a difference between needing new experiences for excitement versus escapism. This card announces the presence of instability within one's interests, follow through, and ability to complete projects or fulfill obligations. In a shadow context, this could be calling you to take a stock on your unfinished business and the loose ends. It can also be questioning why you feel the need to switch from objective to objective, be it travel, career, hobbies, or relationships. What are you avoiding? What are you seeking? What are you seeking the last thing that didn't fulfill? Why does sticking with something or someone bore you immediately? Why do you make plans and regret them after the fact? Stack. Shooketh. Okay? Shooketh. Seriously? Shooketh. Shooketh. Okay. Agun and Mercurial. There's definitely a lot of things going on when it comes to your need to communicate with your ancestors, but your ancestors are very much asking for more time with you during this time. They're asking you for more time. And it's kind of like if there are certain things that you have promised them or even just kind of like on a day-to-day your relationship with them or how you have been treating them or even just like the maintenance of your altar space and just kind of like keeping it clean or keeping like making sure that you're doing kind of like the rounds, making sure there's no dust, but also switching up the offerings or switching up like the water, making sure that things are like in a good and steady place, is almost kind of like the other thing that's coming through is that you could literally not be working with them enough when it comes to on a spiritual level, as far as like you're not necessarily asking them for you're not consenting for them to help you in the way that they need to help you in. And so you are kind of like in a place where you need to dive in a little bit deeper into like the bloodline, dive in a little bit deeper into what you're getting tasked to do by your ancestors, and not dismissing the need for you to not neglect them in certain ways. I feel like there's like a layered of kind of waiting, like almost like if you have just been treating your ancestors like, oh, you change their water, you do the thing, you do the offerings and stuff, but then you haven't been like asking them for anything. You haven't been saying, hey, guide me today, protect me today, keep me safe today, or hey, I really need you guys to help me with this, like I need a breakthrough with this, please help me like get past this point, past this obstacle, past this situation. It's almost like they're kind of in waiting. And if there's a situation right now that you're going through that you're literally kind of like, oh my god, I don't even know what to do, well, how am I going to address it, blah, blah, the ancestors are just like, we're right here, we're right here, we're just gonna wait. We're just gonna wait until you decide to ask us to help you. We're just gonna wait. We're waiting. So there's this kind of like this need to have that conversation, because when Mercurial comes up, it almost makes it, Mercurial is very heavy Gemini energy, but in a way where it's almost like a little bit toxic, because the way that it comes up is very much like being a little bit all over the place, but then at the same time getting overwhelmed by the circumstances that are happening, that you forget that you have ways out of your situation, you have ways out of your circumstance, you have ways out of your, you have ways out, you absolutely have ways out. And it's kind of like it's kind of like it's almost kind of like things are kind of clouded, and it doesn't feel like you have a way out, but you do. You have an outlet, you have space, you have it. It's like there. It's like there. It's absolutely there. Like I don't understand why there's a lack of communion. There's a lack of communication. There's a lack of um you working with the ancestors in a way that is a relationship versus a kind of a duty. Like, oh yeah, I have to do this. Oh, okay, I'm doing it. Okay, I did that. I took care of the kids. I'm just gonna go to work now. Instead of a a, a like having that unity, having that communion where it's like, no, that's my aunt's that's my ride or die right there. That's the one. That's the one that comes through for me literally every time. When it comes to our Egun, our ancestors, they're our first line of defense when it comes to spiritual work, when it comes to um kind of the layers of what we personally need to understand and process, but also with our protection, also with benefiting the bloodline, also with the work that we need to do, not only for ourselves, but for everybody else in the bloodline, to break generational trauma, to use our generational gifts that have also been passed down. There are layers. And it's almost like the ancestors are just like, you're not really, really doing it right now. You're not, you need to do more with us. You need to connect with us more. We're literally waiting for you to give us a green light to help you in the situation that you're so stressed about, but you haven't told us to. So we're just waiting. We're waiting for you to realize that you have a way out of the chaos that you're currently in. We're waiting for you to like take that more seriously, for you to see us as a solution to the situations that you're going through, instead of kind of dismissing us as a solution. So it's layered. It's very layered, but I feel like you need to shoot. If I were you, I would go straight to the altar and just be like, I am sorry. I apologize. I would just do that now. I would do that now. I have a whole ancestral challenge going on my Patreon right now. That is like it's a 31-day challenge on my Patreon. The next challenge is going up tonight. A little bit after the live, you guys are gonna see it for those who are Patreon members. Because I'm trying to do some in the mornings and some at night because I want you guys to do it both before we go to sleep. Like you go to sleep, but also like in the mornings too. So I'm doing a whole ancestral challenge where every single day, we're doing a different ancestral challenge where we're connecting with the ancestors in a different way. We're working with the ancestors in a different way. Go do all of the damn challenges. You need to go all do. You need to go do all of them, all of them. But that was your message, my love. I hope that you got all the messages that you needed. I felt hurt for you though. That was very a deep call out. It like hurt my soul. It hurt my soul a little bit. I was like, damn. But I hope you got all the messages that you needed. That was definitely. Whew. Lana said, should I spontaneously drop a little change on a hair business webinar this Mercury retrograde? It was something I wanted to do earlier in the year, but I invested in school. What the spirits say, you pick. I think we're gonna go with Archangel Michael on this one. Because sometimes Archangel Michael is just like, I will take this one. But hello, everybody. Are you doing readings? Can I have the next? Could I get a reading, babes? I could take 2 more people after because I have Lana and then I have Tori, I believe. Yes, I have Lana and Tori, so I have 2 readings left. But if 2 more people from TikTok want me to post some cards for them, go ahead. Like I'll stay on for another couple minutes. So if you're not a channel member, Patreon member, you could just send $5-10 to my Cash App or PayPal or Venmo to the name, the same as my name right there. So it would be TigeraGitana. And then once you do that, just put your question in the comments, and then we can move from there. These are going to be your card options: the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, the Okana Oracle deck, but please only pick this deck if you're trying to do shadow work. The Nature Speak Oracle deck, and the Feather Omens Oracle deck, which is the Messenger Birds of the Spirit World Oracle deck. So, Lana. Should Lana drop a little change on a hair business webinar on this Mercury retrograde? Yo, Archangel Michael just be making me laugh. I cannot. Okay. Okay, here we go. The first one. Pay attention to your dreams. And the prayer goes, thank you for tucking me into bed at night and helping me enjoy a wonderful, restful night's sleep. Archangel Michael, I invite you into my dreams as my teacher, guide, and healer. Please allow me to understand this, parentheses, describe the specific situation on a spiritual level and give me guidance. And then the next one is, the situation has already been resolved. And the prayer says, I give any worries, cares, or concerns to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. Thank you for resolving this, parentheses, give details of the situation in a divinely and perfect way. Now, the message that's really coming through for this is that, like, you already know that this is a Mercury retrograde situation. If during Mercury retrograde something comes up from the past that whether or not like you had the option to doing something but then you didn't end up doing it for whatever reason, then and it's coming up again, especially during Mercury retrograde, then that means that you should do it. This is why this is like the situation's already resolved, because ultimately this is still something that you wanted to do. This is why it's coming up now. This is why it's still been lingering You know, it's been in the background. It's been running it's like a screen open in the background, pop out window in the back. It's been running in the background because it's still something that you wanted to do. So Mercury retrograde is a time where things from the past, you have a second chance to address. And so this is that literally the divine time for you to address that thing and actually process. Okay? Actually process the situation so that you can heal, so that you can grow, so that you can actually, you know, be where you're supposed to be. It really comes down to you understanding the energies, you understanding how the energy is moving, and noticing the patterns of things. Because if for months, if for like the summertime, you kind of forgot about it, and all of a sudden now it's Mercury retrograde, and it just don't come back into your consciousness, that's not for nothing. That's literally not for nothing. There's a reason. There is a reason. And it's almost kind of like it has the energy of like a missed opportunity, but this is definitely something that you have had in your subconscious mind. You've been manifesting this in the background. That's why I'm saying pay attention to your dreams, because it's something that you have been actively manifesting within your subconscious energy. And this is why it's like the situation's already resolved, because you know what you want to do. You know what you want to do. Your spirit has already decided. It's just that you haven't gone about, you know, booking the thing, you know? Like your spirit has already said, I kind of really want to do this. I have a consensus internally that says I want to do this. So I want to do this. And you just haven't accepted it. Like you haven't like said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. You didn't say I want to do it. You haven't said I'm going to do it. Like right now, I'm filing the thing and I'm doing the thing. You haven't said that yet. But trust and believe that you have been calling this back into your psyche for quite some time. And there's a reason why it's coming up now. Whether or not you're supposed to meet someone or learn, there's something specific that you're supposed to learn from the situation. Not just from the webinar itself, but just like connecting with others, or just even having, or there could be like a moment in that specific webinar that you needed to know that absolutely like impacts the direction of your life in some way. It's on that level. This is why it's like the situation is already resolved. You know what you want to do. Get it together, Lana. Get it together. Get it together. Oh, hey, Isa, how are you? Oh, I think she left, but hi. I hope that you are well, my love. Oh my God. But seriously, that was so funny. That was such a funny thing. Oh, and my phone is about to die. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Wait. My phone is about to die, y'all. Literally, I just got the notification is about to die. So I'm going to do. Oh, my coffee said that answers my question about having an ancestor altar. There you go. There you go. Ancestors are mad. So I'm gonna do Tori real quick. Where did it go? Hold on. I know Tori was there, but I can't find it. Wait, I can't find it. Hold on. Oh, I found it. Okay. Did I conceive this week? Thank you. Any day. 1 second. Let me just put this back in there. And then I believe that's going to be the last reading of the, that's going to be the last reading of the night, y'all. But thank you guys so much for being here with me today. But let's see. Which deck are we choosing today? I think I'm going to go with the Feathered Omens because something says pick this deck. So that's what we're going with. That is what we're going with. Okay. Did Tori Williams conceive this week? Oh, wow. 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 Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little shocked right now. Give me a second. That message came like very, very like. So the first one that came up was magical realms are opening. And for those who don't know, our womb, for those who are women, our wombs are actually realms within themselves. They're portals. We can talk about that in another video though. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in the segment video that I'm about to do, because within the whole comedic spirituality series that we're doing. For those who are not following me on YouTube, you should be following me on YouTube. I'm letting you know. Link is in the bio, because I have literally different series going all at once. Santa Muerte series, comedic spirituality series. I'm going to be doing a reconnecting native series on there as well. There's a lot going on YouTube, so definitely make sure you're following me on there. But magic realms are opening. Our wombs are actual realms, like there are portals, because our wombs give access to bring life into this world. And so the fact that the message that I got when this card jumped out was the word an ancestor is coming. That's specifically the sentence that I received with the magical realms are opening. So this is not just kind of just any old soul coming through. Not that anybody is just kind of any old soul, but there's a specific ancestor that's coming back from your bloodline itself. Because it is their time. It is their time. That's like, it is their time. That's what they're saying. It's their time to come back. The next card you got is Secrets. Then you have New Fate and Path Direction, because this is something that is going to be changing your life as well. And Adjust Behavior and Communication, because that is also something that you need to be paying attention to when you are in baby mama magic. You are in a state where you are going through a physical body transition, but your portal is not only creating, it's almost like I want you to think about it like what's that thing called, that printer that kind of like that 3D printing kind of thing, where it just kind of takes a minute for it to print the thing, but like once it starts printing the thing, it's like a process until it's done kind of thing. It's one of those things where it's just like your portal is open. You're going to be in a very, very powerful state, but you're also going to be going through a transition on a spiritual level, on a physical level, obviously, but on a spiritual level as well. And you're going to have to pay attention to a lot of the messages that come through, because as you kind of move into the space, you are getting more and more closer to being an elder, especially to those who are younger. But there's a lot that you are going to need to do when it comes to specifically the way that you communicate, and the way that you behave around them. The way that what they need, what they will need in this lifetime requires you to be a better version of yourself than you have been. There are certain things that you're going to have to change. And what I would recommend for that specifically is getting a synastry chart done with you and the child. So that way you know what it is, that the work that you need to do with them, and also how you're going to be impacting them like karmically, and what the lesson it is that you're teaching each other, so you have that awareness. So that's one thing I would highly recommend. I recommend all parents do that. Actually, get a damn synastry chart with your child, so that way you know what you're doing. Okay. But there is this very much, it's an ancestor coming through. It's an ancestor that's choosing to come back. They have been simmering on it for a while. It hasn't been time yet, but now it's coming to be the time, and it's pushing you into a new direction. It's pushing you into a new. It's going to be I don't want to say like it's gonna age you, but technically it is. It's gonna mature you is the word that I'm looking for. Mature you a little bit. So you need to be very mindful during this time. You need to make sure that you're paying attention to the messages. A lot of mothers can do a lot of intuitive work with their child, while they're growing in, like, you know, while they're growing there. Um, but that's something that you can dive in deeper into that. But you can do a lot of like communication. You could set a lot of intention. You can start doing protection work already. You can start like diving deeper into that. um but there's still a lot that you're not going to know just yet. But know that this is an ancestor, this is someone from your bloodline, that it's time for them to come back into this world, or choosing to come back, for a specific purpose. And they're going to need your support, but you need to take this transition for yourself very seriously. And but also be easy with yourself. um the new fate in past direction specifically highlights that there's something about the situation that has created a little bit of a, like, let's say you were at a crossroads, you have chosen to go in a different direction. There is a part of you that could have still went into the other one, but you could have chosen to go the other way, but now you are in this other road. So there is a new fate that's happening. There is a way that this is going to impact you as well. So you need to be very gentle with yourself during this time. You need to take it easy. You need to understand the kind of the power of it as well. And this is just a really, really good time to do a lot of emotional work, especially because during, baby mama magic, um, there are influxes of emotions and stuff like that. But there's just kind of like this need for you to connect with yourself emotionally. Make sure that you're emotionally in a good place during this time. So that way you can handle the transition that you're going to. But it's a very beautiful transition. I think you're going to be okay. But just know there is a specific intention behind this specifically. Like, it's not just for nothing. It has a purpose. And there's a reason why they need to come back, and why you need to be their mother. So yeah, that is your reading, my love. I hope you got all the messages that you needed. Thank y'all for being here with me today. I believe somebody said I've been watching your YouTube forever. Glad to see you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys for all the love. Yeah, if you guys are not following me on YouTube, please make sure you follow me on YouTube, because literally the most of my content is on YouTube. And I know it seems like I post on TikTok a lot, but trust and believe, the most of my content is on YouTube. But thank you to everybody who asked the questions this week. It was absolutely a pleasure reading you guys. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow for our weekly prayer circle. I'm gonna put the poll up on the Patreon tonight, so the Patreon members can vote on what prayer we're going to be doing tomorrow. So for those who are Patreon members, you're going to get the prayer tonight, and you're going to get the ancestral challenge for tonight as well. So stay tuned for that. But definitely 1000%. It was an absolute pleasure as always. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope that you guys have a beautiful night. I will see you guys next week on the weekly community oracle poll, unless you're going to be here tomorrow for the weekly prayer circle. But thank you guys so much. I have a couple of videos that I'm going to be working on tomorrow as well for you guys. So stay tuned for all of that. And yeah, I'm like catching up on like all the work. I'm still doing a whole bunch of readings, but stay tuned for that. I love you guys. Bye, guys. Have a good night. There we go. Have a good night. Bye, guys.